could be if Annie can display my slides, I'd appreciate it.
You bet. And are they the same, Layla?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and share screen here. Okay, and should I zoom this in or is it okay?
It's good. It's good for me.
Okay.
Okay, so my name is Layla Hedju, she and her, and I am actually the president of Islamic Social Services of Oregon State. And so basically what ISOS's mission is given that we're a small nonprofit and we've been around for 20 years, our focus is on collaboration with those that excel in the service they provide and subsidize where we can in order for the client to do their part in becoming self-reliant. So if you move to the second slide, and this is probably the majority of the talk is going to be on this slide. With that, we declare ourselves as a secondary sponsor. And what that means is you do not see ISOS listed with 211 is because we require a primary agency that has done the intake of the client in need and needs to reach out for extended services and is willing to work with us per the plan provided for the client to reach self-reliancy. So typically caseworkers are focusing on the emergency request and not necessarily the root cause of the problem. So our cases can be as short as a one-time assistance and as long as a year of support. It all depends upon the profile of the case. In any case, it is far less expensive on all concerns to address it up front before there's an eviction that can lead to crimes, mental health issues, etc. So we're all about prevention. And we do serve anybody in need in the state of Oregon and Southwest Washington that qualifies per our requirements, which is actually listed on this slide. Because of ISOS's background, we are also very familiar with refugees and immigrants, basically of the greater Middle Eastern countries, from North Africa through Southwest Asia. So we are also a member of IRCO, which you're going to hear from after me. That stands for Immigrant and Refugee Community Organization. We are also registered with DHS's Refugee Child Welfare Advisory Committee, reviewing those cases that involve children at risk and being removed from their family due to safety issues. And in this forum, the caseworkers are seeking out on advice on how to interface with family that are from different cultures and countries in order to address the need to restore that safety with the family. So basically, we have been working on these type of self-reliancy prevention and such for, I would say, this type of procedure for about 15 years, and we find it very effective. And it's all about, reducing the homeless situation and try to put as much resources up front without dealing with the correction of the issue later on. If you can move to the next slide. So in addition to our case management work, our style of case management work, we also have projects. One of our biggest projects is our annual Day of Dignity, which actually serves the homeless in the downtown Pearl District area, the third Sunday of every month in September, and is all about collaborating with agencies that provide homeless or houseless services. It's basically like a one-stop area for the homeless to get together at one place and to be provided with winter supplies. And what I mean by winter supplies is like customized backpacks that's been tailored for the homeless by City Pack in Chicago, sleeping bags, socks, non-perishable foods, medical things, attention that they need, like taking away a hygiene kit and such that they can use. It's probably we spent probably about $50,000 on this one event. And we want to make sure that we also reach out to those agencies that do homeless services to take advantage of this forum, have face-to-face interaction, not only with the homeless people, but also with each other as agencies. So more collaboration goes on. And because it's out in a park-like area, we have a big barbecue, veggie burgers and such. So then people feel relaxed. They feel like, they not only get the services and know each other, but it's a relaxing, safe area for them to feel safe and connect. And it seems like every year we get more agencies asking to register for this event. We also involve the youth in this event because we want to remove them from their bubble environment, not having all this stereotype about the homeless and not understanding them, to have that face-to-face interaction with the homeless through registering them or servicing them at the event. And it's amazing how many parents come to us saying, how can I get my teenager to register for this event? Because they begin to realize a lot of things about homeless that is incorrect. And they're very, I would say they're very surprised on how well behaved the homeless people are, and also their education background as well. So later in the slides, I have added also our report, our graphs and such that I've added to the presentation that Annie will send to you to give you a little bit more perspective about the background of the homeless. I was actually shocked to see probably about almost 20% of them have college education that are out there. And so it's pretty sad to see, the profiles of the homeless and what we're not doing in preventing them from being homeless in the first place. And also we have what we call our Ramadan food drive. Ramadan is the month of fasting for Muslims. And in that month, they put a concentrated effort in feeding people in need. And so what we do is we collect funds from the community and also from certain foundations to provide Winco cards for people in need of food, and we distribute it, by working with agencies, and IRCO is one of our biggest agencies that we provide the cards to distribute to those people that can use additional food, for during this month. We also have a food pantry that not too long ago we started, and we even include free meat, produce, breads, non-perishable goods at probably twice a month. And it's amazing, even though we only open for 1 hour, there is at least 600 that come to be served. And we're hoping to expand that as well. And one other project that we're heavily involved in is working with the Portland Police Bureau. Because of the refugees and immigrants that we connect with, there's a lot of misunderstanding of rules and regulations with the city. And so we become an advocate, for them to make sure that the police has someone to connect to people who are not familiar with our laws and such, to advocate for them. So we've been doing this probably for about 5 years right now. And we have probably about 7 community leaders involved with this advisory council. So the chief of police is very appreciative of this connection with community. Okay, next slide.
Layla, real quick before you jump to the next slide, do you have the address of the food pantry that maybe we could follow up later with?
Yeah, so right now I was hesitant to give it to you now because we temporarily stopped the food pantry this month because we're relocating, but it's typically in Aloha.
Okay.
The reason why it's in Aloha because Oregon Food Bank, who is one of our vendors or providers, they said they needed a pantry in that area.
Okay, sounds like they did.
So yeah, we're trying to relocate it in a better location right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But I will give you that information once we have it.
Okay, awesome.
And this is just a sample of the chart I was talking about. Here is the homeless trend, from 2011 through 2022. We stopped it for 2 years because of COVID, but it gives you kind of an idea about the type of homeless people that comes to the event. And like I said, we register every single one of them before they get their supplies or food. So this is how we collect the data. And the next slide continues on with the survey. And hopefully Annie will give you a copy of this presentation so you can look at it more in depth. And also after that are some pictures of the event. So I know I went through this pretty quick because I have 10 minutes and I just want to make sure if you have any questions for me, I'm here for you.
Layla, could you just kind of in general terms, just explain how, if an individual is trying to seek services from your agency, what that process looks like with a host agency or a primary agency, and then the utilization of yours? That might be helpful.
Typically, if a client calls us and says, I heard about your agency and I need help, I'm going to get evicted, we ask them, do you have another agency that you are connected with? And if they don't, we give them some suggestions depending upon what their situation is. And if they have that agency connected, saying, yes, I'm willing to advocate for you, or I'm already providing you with some services, then we ask the agency to connect with us directly so that we give them the information to go on our website. So on the website at www.i-sos.org, there is a resource aid form link. And that resource aid form will take you into our case management system. And there's a form there for the sponsor agency to work with the client in filling out that form. That form tells us everything we need to know about the client's situation and what their plan is to become self-reliant. Then an ISOS case manager is assigned to that case, talks to the sponsor about introducing themselves basically, and ask the sponsor any other additional questions. So that case manager can be the advocate for this case when approaching the board for the request. So the board takes a look at it saying, okay, this particular case needs 6 months of rental support as they go through certification, or they had a medical leave of absence and need to regain themselves. So they are the ones that approve of the budget being allocated for this case in order for that case to become successfully self-reliant. So the case manager will come back to the sponsor saying it's been approved. And now, since it's been approved, we will monitor the status of this case monthly to see if everybody's doing their part. So it's the sponsor, it's ISOS, and it's the client. Everybody has a part in helping this case to become self-reliant. And so if, for instance, the client decides, I'm not going to do my part, then we don't pay for the next month rent. We don't do this. So it's an incentive for them to continue on and not to give up until they hit the point where now they can take care of themselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Layla. I appreciate that. It's definitely, I think, a good visual for people to see because there's so much support in your model for the individual to move into the next stage. And I just think that's really important to highlight. So thank you for that.
You.
And is it www.isos.org?
I-sos.org.
So www-isos.
www.i-sos.org. So SOS is really, we thought it was clever to say, I'm in distress. SOS is a direct distress for the military. Right. So I'm in distress, ISOS. And then we came up with Islamic Social Services of Oregon State. But we wanted, hopefully something that would stick.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Any questions for Layla?
I would tell you our number one, our number one clients that come to us is the hospitals. Providence and Kaiser, their social service department comes to us quite heavily. And also we have Lutheran Community Services clinician for refugees. They're one of our biggest clients too as well. So just an FYI of who comes to us for aid.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Layla. I will definitely share the slide deck afterwards if that's okay with you. And I'm sure we can share email if that's okay afterwards if you have any follow-up questions for Layla. Thank you for being here. Okay, and now we are on to Urko. And I have, is it Jihan? Did I say that correct?
You did.
Okay, and Surya, is that correct? Okay, awesome. Welcome to
Yes.
both of you, and thank you so much for being here on behalf of Urko. You have so many things going on in Urko. So appreciate you two sharing at least a little bit of it. So welcome.
Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and start, and then I'll pass it on to Surya, and then maybe we can do questions after we've heard all of the ERCO presentations. So good morning, everybody. My name is Jihan Nani. I use she, her pronouns, and I am ERCO's Associate Director of Programs. I am going to try to share my screen, a visual as I'm talking. You all can see that. So we are the Immigrant and Refugee Community Organization. Our mission is to welcome, serve, and empower refugees, immigrants, and people across cultures and generations to reach their full potential. Our mission is actually about 5 days old. We've just updated it. So if you don't recognize it, it's normal. Probably getting the first public viewing of our new mission. We are very excited about this new mission, and our vision is a future where refugees and immigrants belong, our staff are nurtured, and all communities thrive. I want to emphasize before I move on that even though immigrants and refugees are and will always be at the core of who we are and who we serve, ERCO serves communities of color at large and also white mainstream population as well. We are here for people who need our support regardless of their culture, their generation, or their immigration status. We were founded in 1976 by and for a group of refugees, and since 1976, we have continued to grow into the organization that you all hopefully know today, where Annie's correct. We have a wide variety of services, and I'm really only going to touch upon them in a very high level today, and we're welcome any questions and happy to share anything else afterwards. These are numbers from 2021. I'm not going to go over them. You'll have access to the slide deck afterwards if you'd like it. I just want to highlight that in 2021, we served over 25,000 people, 79% of which were people of color. So we definitely are providing really new beginnings, as we say, for immigrants, refugees, and our other communities of color in our variety of different ways. We ensure our services are culturally and linguistically inclusive for our diverse communities. We serve the Portland metro area, including Clark County. We're expanding into Clark County, and we're also expanding into Marion County as well as a presence in Eastern Oregon. We are present in Malheur and Baker counties as well. Our services are informed by our diverse communities. Every few years, we survey our communities through our community needs assessment and really build all of our programs based on the feedback and the needs that we're hearing from our communities. Our 2022 Community Needs Assessment Report was just released. This is a hyperlink here, which you can access in the presentation after the meeting. For the Community Needs Assessment this year, we surveyed over 600 or over 500 community members and asked them to tell us about a variety of needs and organized focus groups to validate those needs and also to reach some of the harder to reach community members. So it's a very, very rich report. It has a lot of information. We will continue to iterate on it, and that we will continue to release culturally specific reports for major cultural groups, as well as sectoral reports in the future. So the report that is online right now is a very broad report for immigrant and refugee community needs, but please watch that space for future reports coming out. Our services are provided through our main office on Gleason and 102nd, as well as our 4 cultural centers. We have a cultural center for Pacific Islander and Asian communities. We have a cultural center for African communities, a Slavic and Eastern European center, and our Greater Middle East Center, which Leila kindly referenced earlier. This is our newest cultural center, which is now located in Beaverton and is meant to serve and be a cultural hub for communities from North Africa, Middle East, and South Asia. Our services span a variety of different sectors. So I've got them listed here. And again, I'm not going to go into the details for any one of them, but just to give you a sense of what these represent in broad strokes. So for refugee and new arrival services, we have become a resettlement agency since December 2021, which means that we are among the organizations who will receive new refugees as they enter the US and will help them set up a home in the US in the Portland area and become productive and active community members. So our new arrival services in the past year served over 200 Afghan parolees in particular, and we also supported hundreds of Ukrainian new arrivals who were displaced by the war. We also have early learning services. So we really try to provide services to community members, regardless of where they are in their age or their immigration status or their transition in life. So our early learning services span activities such as parent education and kindergarten preparedness and preschool activities to try and help our children be prepared to enter school successfully. Our youth and academic services are providing in-school and after-school activities for our youth across the Portland metro area and Eastern Oregon. We also support housing. As you all know, of course, housing is a huge need in Oregon. And so we have programs that provide rental assistance, utilities assistance. We connect people to TriMet in the Portland metro area and help prevent and get people out of houselessness when they are experiencing that. We're also in partnerships with a few developers, housing developers, and are embarking in the complex and exciting world of building affordable housing as well. We support our communities through economic development as well. We have a variety of different programs that help them access savings through individual development accounts, IDAs, as well as start micro enterprises. We support our communities through workforce development, and Surya will be talking a little bit more about that to me. So this is helping everybody, all of our communities, access jobs, prepare for jobs, access the trainings and the vocational skills that they need to enter and stay in the labor market. Our health and behavioral health services are focused on helping our communities navigate those systems and connect to the providers they need and with the insurance providers they need to be able to lead healthy lives. Through our immigration and disability legal services, we help our communities access those legal services that help them either navigate our complex immigration system, or apply or appeal disability notices when they are needing to get onto the disability. Through our survivor services, we support community members who are fleeing domestic violence, sexual assault, or human trafficking. So we help our survivors begin new lives and really flee the dangerous situations that they were in. And then through our senior services, we help our the senior members of our communities stay engaged and connected to community, access healthy meals several times a week, and connect to each other and come out of isolation. Our seniors have been particularly hit by the pandemic, isolation that was created by that. So as you can imagine, they are happy to see some of our in-person services resume. And then we also have our International Language Bank, which allows people to connect to the languages that they need through interpretation or translation. And last but not least, our community development team helps all of our other services remain in touch with community needs through things like our community needs assessment, and helps us stay engaged in the various policy discussions and advocacy tables that are active in our networks. We, as I mentioned before, we became last year a reception and placement agency. So that has been a very exciting endeavor, and we are continuing to also provide the employment services for all of the new refugees who arrive or most of the refugees who arrive in Oregon. Other reception and placement agencies I know are now developing their own employment services as well. And then last but not least, I just wanted to emphasize that obviously we can't and are not doing all of this alone. We are in partnership with various organizations, ISOS and others, and we welcome partnerships with community members, leaders, other organizations such as yourselves, and of course our governmental agencies. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Surya to talk about our workforce development services in more detail.
Okay, thank you, Jihan. Let me share my screen. So can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I will be just focusing on our workforce development program, and then I'll be briefly explaining what we do and then what are the program that we have as of now. As Jihan explained earlier, we have pretty big workforce development program, training, scholarship, career coaching, work experience, and job placement training. They come at a various stage of need. So when it can be for newly arrived refugees, it can be somebody who has established themselves here in the United States, or somebody who is also from mainstream community who want to change a job or get a better skill, or sometimes skill up in the same profession. We help with everything. Our service areas right now are Clackamas, Multnomah, and Washington County. So we have we had large focus on Multnomah County and City of Portland, but now we have grown into Washington County and then sizably also in Clackamas County as well. We serve youth and adult, immigrants and refugee and community at large, as Jihan explained earlier, for our overall Air Codes program and also for workforce program, houseless and low-income very focused program for houseless community members, and also for skilled and unskilled job seekers or somebody who are also goal-oriented. So there are times when a person may have a goal which may be down 2 or 3 years down the road, but we can start helping them from a stage where they can begin basic training and then progressively move towards their career goals. We have so now I'll be explaining more of our individualized program. So we have a NextGen program which provides services to youth 17 to 24 years old in both Multnomah and Washington County. They provide on-ramp employment pathways and training, and also occupational training, so that youth out of high school or people who have left school at some stage and then may not want to get into college can get into different career tracks. Connect to Career provide job placement services for youth. And then now we have a new program called OYEP, Occupational Skills Training and Paid Work Experience for Youth in Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas County. Again, all of our youth programs serve participants between 14 and 24, it should be 18 and 24. I might have to check with our program coordinator for this program, Rekha Koirala, if it is 14 to 24 or 18 to 24. So it might be 14 to 24 as well. So I'm a little bit confused here. But in each slide, I have each program coordinator's contact. So when you get the slide, if you want to reach out to that program, you will have contact with the slides as well. Similarly, in our Youth Works program, we have Summer Works and WEXI program. Both programs provide a valuable work experience for youths. Summer Works usually is active during summer. I think they start recruitment around May and June, and then go up to September for like youth who are staying home during summer. This is a good way to kind of get some work experience and maybe test some careers that they want to like pursue in future. And there is a WEXI program, which is also a paid work experience program that goes throughout the year. And like program coordinator for this program is Anna Kleinstecker, and her contact informations are there. Now we have adult programs. So first program that I'm going to explain is UP Portland program. So this program provides services for immigrants and refugees only. So this is one program which is designed for immigrants and refugees only who reside within the city of Portland boundary. We provide employment training, as well as we have in-house funding for CNA1 program. So if you have anybody who lives in city of Portland and who want to get into CNA1 training, we have in-house funding, but we can also provide career pathways into construction, healthcare, manufacturing, and all of the other sectors. And then I am the program coordinator for this program, and my contact informations are also there. Similarly, we have a similar program which is open for all. This is more for a participant who are 50% of median family income and who also have some housing difficulties. So we have a Home for Everyone program. This program provides services for all of a Multnomah County resident. Participants have to be either homeless or housing insecure. And also there is a small program for Gresham residents only called Living Solutions, which provide employment and training services for the resident of city of city of Gresham. And then through this program, we partner with different trainers, employers, also in a city of Gresham, so that Gresham resident can get a job in a industry or companies that are situated inside Gresham area, like and also helping to reduce some gaps like transportation gap or something where people can find employment closer to their home. Elizabeth Jimenez Lopez is a program coordinator. Her information is there. Next is another program called EUP Washington County. This is open for all Washington County resident, and across all of our program, one more information is that we have a kind of a subsection of our program called Career Boost, which provides services especially for people who are receiving SNAP from DHS. So if people are receiving SNAP, they get additional enhanced services through our program, meaning that they get more time with their coaches. They get to they are prioritized in scholarship funding through WorkSource as well. So if somebody is able to receive SNAP, then like there will be additional services for them as well. And EUP Washington County, similar to EUP Portland, provide job search and training services for Washington County residents. And then this program is open for all. It is not bound to either immigrants or refugee. Anyone can apply for this program. And then there are some other new program for Washington County, Equitable Economic Recovery Program and Southwest Corridor Economic Development Program. Both of the program provide training services for a Washington County resident. SWED program is especially towards the Southwest Corridor, Barber Boulevard, like I-5 corridor participants, and then there are specific zip codes there as well, which can residents of where can be served by the program. Alyssa Hall is a program coordinator, and her contact information are there. Similarly, we have Washington County Housing Careers, which provide paid peer support training and work experience to individuals with lived experience and who are interested in working in the housing field, especially inside Washington County. So people from Multnomah County can also apply for this program, but they should be interested in like working in a housing field in Washington County. We have one cohort that is running right now. So if you have any participants, any people who are interested in peer support training and also who have had experience with houselessness or difficulty with houses, and this is a great program to enter housing sector in Washington County. And also we have a small partnership with City of Tigard called Advanced Tigard Workforce. So if anybody lives in the City of Tigard and then they want to get some additional training to enhance their skills, we have a program to support them as well. And also Alyssa Hall is again coordinator for this program, and there is her information. And then we have several programs in Clackamas County. The first is Clackamas Works, which is kind of a more of a career coaching program that I have explained earlier for Clackamas County resident, providing training and employment services. Similarly, there is a how-to program called Healthy Oregon Workforce Training Opportunity Program, which provide more of a health careers training for immigrant and BIPOC population, as well as people who live in a rural Clackamas County as well. Josie Missouri is a program coordinator for that program. And then across our program as well, and specifically for Clackamas County program, we have funding to provide training services for Clackamas County residents. And then, there are different sectors that are supported here: early learning education, healthcare, trades, manufacturing, construction. And then this is like again, priorities provided to SNAP recipient, but we have a lot of funding for training, especially for Clackamas County residents through this program. And then, we have, WorkSource Northeast that we run. Frederick Gerstner is a coordinator or operations coordinator for that program. We provide a training scholarship program again, additional scholarship for career boost program. And then usually when ITA or that application is received, they make assessment about how much to fund, whether to fund fully or like collaborate with other agency to fulfill any gaps that remain, and then make sure that a participant can complete the training through them. They also provide my work source services, provide job search, budgeting, creating and then maintaining career goals, and then also connection with OED and those type of services. And then we also in St. John's area, we have a workforce navigator services providing resume writing, interview preparation, job search support, all those type of services. And then there are email for the contacts there as well. And this is overall, contact information for our coordinators for the program. I think we are at the end. Yes. So I kind of briefly skimmed through the presentation. I will send this presentation to Annie so that you all have access to this. And yeah, so feel free to contact, and actually don't feel shy to ask any question to any coordinators. We know about each other's program, or actually if we know only partial information about another program, we can get you to the right person so that your participant can get services that they need. And also maybe there are few programs that do not have much support, but during job search and training services, we also provide support services, sometimes paying with rent, sometimes paying for utilities, so that people who are going to the training have resources to make sure that their living situation does not, they don't have to choose between paying rent and then going to school or something like that. And so we can help out with that as well.
Wow. So many programs. I know that you all do a lot, and this is just workforce development. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. So yeah, I appreciate that. And so many opportunities to get community connected to these resources. So thank you. Are there any questions for Surya? I don't want to jump ahead too quickly. And I'm happy to share this wealth of information in the slide deck afterwards. Just want to give people a second if there are any questions. Okay.
Can I just say,
Yes.
sorry, Annie, we realize that this is a lot of information and that it seems very complex to navigate our services, and that impression is correct. It is difficult to navigate our services. We are working on more streamlined referral systems and updating our website so that it's actually more useful for everybody to be able to understand what services we're providing. So we're cognizant that that's been a difficulty, and we'll be working on addressing this.
Looks like Tatiana has a question.
Yes, hello everybody. So since IRCO is serving immigrant and refugee population, my question is are any of these trainings on different languages, or they're all in English, and how the immigrant and refugee population is getting connected to these trainings?
Thank you, Tatiana, for the question. This is really important question. So we exist in order to provide services for participants with different language needs. We have staff who can speak different languages as well. But there are trainings, which are so we only fund the training. We don't provide any of the training. So the language part of the question is that for example, CNA1 program is a year or maybe 2 years, and then sometimes they spend 1 year and 6 months just getting that language skills so that they can get into the training program. So there are pre-training needs as well, and then also if they need interpreter to work with us, sometimes we use interpreters, sometimes we get help of our colleagues who speak that language. So we have a very little kind of problem of not serving participants from different languages, but it's the training are basically provided by other providers, and then that's where they decide the language needs, and then how much language needs that is required to kind of successfully complete the training and get job in that sector.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your response, Siri, and nice to see you again. So I was wondering, like, if the training such as like CDL training or maybe cosmetology, any of the trainings could be provided in different languages, because it's the workforce, the people just has a very limited English to
yes, CDL training in particular. Yes, so CDL training in particular, we have been able to work out with our trainer. We have actually a participant who do not speak a single word in English who was able to pass his CDL exam a couple of years ago. He spoke Russian, he was a Ukrainian refugee, and then we were able to help with that. And also, especially for refugee participants, we also collaborate with our refugee programs. Again, like, even though I am talking about different program in isolation, actually, we all collaborate with like our colleagues from different sector in order to provide the best customer service for our participants. There are some training though, we like, so in addition to like providing training, we also advocate with different employer unions so that they are more open to immigrants and refugee employees. So I haven't even spoken about that part. Like, we are actually doing that every day. We have a job navigator who can reach out to a different industry, different companies, and make sure that if there are any gaps, such like as language and skills gap, which can be amended through our services, we are also working on that part as well, definitely. Wendy has questions.
I think you're muted, Wendy, or we can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Maybe you can type your questions.
What?
Oh, there we are. Yep.
Did I raise my hand? I'm so sorry if I did. I did not mean to raise.
No, we're talking with Wendy, right? Sorry, Wendy.
A different Wendy. Okay.
Yes. Wendy, you can type your question.
And if there are any other questions, you can go ahead and type those in the chat as well. So Wendy wrote, I wonder if you have services for individuals who are deaf and non-English speaking. I think Surya might have frozen. If so, who would I contact? Maybe what we can do is have Surya reach out directly to you afterwards, just for the sake of time and for being frozen. Wonderful. So Surya, we're going to have Wendy reach out to you, or you reach out to Wendy separately, just for the sake of time. But thank you all so much. Such an important presentation, such important resources. And again, I will share the slide deck with all of the contact information to follow up. Thank you. Okay, so next we have Sahar from Lutheran Community Services Northwest. Hi, Sahar, how are you? And welcome.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sahar Razmankhel. I'm a crime victim advocate at Lutheran Community Services. And let me share my page. There we go. Can you guys see it? All right, we are a crime victim advocacy program located at Halsey Street in the Benfield building. We are a culture-based, trauma-informed program that supports victims of crime. We are a victim-centered, and we try to help our clients to get back to their, sorry, I lost my thought there. Restore their dignity and safety, and we help them with mostly anything they need. Our policies, we have an open door policy. Even if someone comes to us and we're not able to help them, or we don't have the resources to help them, we always like help them find the resources they need to get the help they are looking for. Our program eligibility, they have to be a resident of the metro area, or the crime has to happen in any of those 4 counties. We also have an advocacy office in Clark County, located in Vancouver. And yes, they're super packed right now. So we're trying to get some of their victims here and try to help them from here too. They're pretty similar to our program. They're kind of different policy and different funders. They're also under Lutheran Community Services. The crime doesn't have to be reported. The victim can self-identify themselves as a victim, and they'll be eligible for our services. Our CVAP service and assistant, we mostly work with all type of victims who needs help with like legal services, civil court orders, procedures, safety planning. Mostly a lot of them are for emotional support. And we also provide a lot of resource navigation to help them find that resource they need. We're just kind of the middle person between the victim and the resources they need. We also have emergency funds to help clients with. We attend a court hearing today. Janae, who was supposed to present, is at court hearing with the victim. We also try to provide them proof of services, which helps them to break leases in cases of domestic violence and stalking. And we also have like training we're working on right now on a support group trainings for our victims, so they have a safe space to come and talk about their struggles mentally, emotionally, or any other form. We have an EFA, which is an emergency financial assistant. It's a one-time payment funded by the Department of Justice. It's up to 1,000, could be extended to more, depends on case by case. It's mostly for DV cases and sexual assault clients. We usually give that money to clients in case for housing or housing expenses, mostly rent, mortgage, deposits, moving in, moving out. The only requirement for that is the client needs to have a job that we know they have an income service. Sorry, if they have any like a job that brings them income, so we know that they could be able to help themselves in the future if we do this part of like helping them at this point. It's a very easy process. Could take only 2 hours to get the approval for them. It's available for all 3 counties, and Clark County also have a EFA, but they're I think a little bit different than ours. I think they pay more than we do in Vancouver. Crime types we assist with, it's mostly everything kind of, but mostly our clients comes from abused, DV, human trafficking, homicide, and hate and crime. Those are our top 6, 5 crimes that we mostly work with. And then, like I said, the crime does not have to be reported to law enforcement, and we don't check for immigration status. And mostly they have to have just come to us and let us know that they need help with something, and they identify themselves as a victim. So we don't require them to do any police reporting unless it's like a homicide. We can help them navigate reporting that if they witness something or if they want it to be reported themselves. Our other programs, we just have 2 new programs actually. Our restorative justice program just fully staffed. So they're just started taking a lot of cases. They work with the other side of the law, and they mostly help the defendants to navigate their issues and help the victims solve the matters. We also just started a substance abuse disorder and treatment services. They're also located, they both are located at our office, but the substance abuse just opened an office in Beaverton too at the same time. And that's our contact information. We have ours on the Portland side in Vancouver, and we have our manager information down below. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to ask. Sorry, I just went quickly because I have a meeting to attend right after.
No problem at all, Sahar. Thank you so much. Also, super important information. And I think today's point really was to bring together resources specifically for our immigrant and refugee communities, but for the general community at large as well. But it's just amazing to me how much is out there for our immigrant and refugee communities to tap into. Thanks to all of you. Any questions for Sahar? I'll definitely share your slide deck if you want to email that to me. Sure. That'd be great. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, Sahar. Appreciate you. And I will share that afterwards. You have a great day. If you have to hop off, that's no problem. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. And last but not least, we have Southeast Works. And I think Diane and Debbie is here. And Diane will also, Diane, are you presenting today?
Actually, I was going to ask you if you could share your screen with all the slides I gave you, because Debbie and I pulled this together while she was on the road.
Okay, let me just pull up my email here. And
I appreciate your willingness to put this together.
No problem. Thank you both for being here. Okay, which would you like the up? So I have the up. Oh, I see it. Wait, which?
There's actually 2 emails because I almost forgot Lisa's flyer, since this was actually a sort of our immigrant day. So we have a couple of programs that are open to immigrants and refugees specifically. I feel like I'm following Syria's act.
No problem. Okay, so I have the Bank Works, Southeast Works, January, Workforce Navigator, Workshops Calendar, and SEW Youth Programs email.
Right, and there should be another one piggybacking it.
Yes.
With PICP.
Is
Whatever order you want to go in, let's
Okay.
let's just do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to start with PICP, and I will share my screen.
And Lisa, if you want to jump in and talk about your program, feel free.
I can do that.
Everyone see it okay real quick before I hop off? Okay.
Yep.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Southeast Works, and all of you for being here.
Yeah, so what we offer is help with employment strategy. And what we have are refugees who live within the city limits of Portland and meet income guidelines, must be at least 18 years old, and we're looking for work. They're legal to work in the United States, and they have a professional degree or certificate from their country of origin. So once we have the welcome done, then I work with people to create a career map and get their credentials evaluated. Excuse me. And then I connect them with the help of Tanya Foster and my other career coaches at Southeast Works to get into workshops and trainings and career classes. So those are going to be the bank works and the medical works, and hopefully the CNA 1, CNA 2, and plenty of other trainings. So I'm always looking for trainings that can be provided, and we will get our clients through a scholarship workshop, and then I will help them with their scholarship application to pay for trainings. And we also provide services, you know, like gas cards and bus passes, and help with say clothing for interviews, or clothing for working at jobs that they don't have clothing for, working with Dress for Success there. Let's see. Diane, can you think of anything else I may have forgotten?
No, I think part of it is much like the ERCO programs. It all begins with registering with WorkSource in our case, and then going from there. So our difference is, you know, yes, we're working with immigrants and refugees, but again, City of Portland residents and some kind of degree or certificate from their country of origin is what we're looking for.
And just to clarify, so the professional immigrant credential program is like a first entry into all of the other programs, is that correct? As far as immigrant and refugee credentials go?
It's helpful. So
Okay.
what we had found is that people were coming to the US from their country of origin with advanced degrees, but they're not recognized by our Oregon licensing organization. So could be somebody who's a professional engineer, highly skilled, very educated, fluent in English, but those actual professional licenses aren't recognized yet. So in an effort to get somebody through that process, it's nice to have a coach who can help navigate some of the nuances of getting degrees through the translation and validation process, maybe working with from a skills perspective of finding transitional employment so that we can pay bills and make that momentum and also build that professional network while you're waiting for the credentials to come through. It's nice to be working closer to your field and maybe not in something like retail or restaurant if that's not your goal.
Perfect, thank you. Would you like me to share the next one, Diane? Or,
Yes, please.
okay, is that CareerWorks Medical?
Which Lisa had mentioned. So CareerWorks Medical is entry-level medical office training. It's sort of a receptionist, and it's when we think about it, it's customer service, but with that, the cultural fit of working in healthcare. So it's not going to be the full patient access specialist degree program like they have at Portland Community College, but it's a customer service rep or patient registration entry-level training. It's no cost to the participant. At this point, we're piloting a stipend for folks that are in that training. But it does offer not only the training, but at the graduation, it's a job fair. So this and BankWorks are designed to be very hands-on and very coach heavy, if you will. So we're working with somebody, not just here's the class, but also here's how you get your foot in the door in the profession.
Perfect. And I'm just gonna stop share. I'm gonna download the other ones. I don't think I got those downloaded here.
And then Layla had a question if there are any certificates that are not recognized. And I will just sit in that. Layla, when I was the PICP coach, which was a while back, it wasn't so much that the degrees weren't recognized, but we were having difficulty from certain countries of origin getting the degrees and transcripts into the US. I've had participants back in my day that had to get family members from Cuba to mail documents sealed to a family member in Mexico who then forwarded the package to us in the US. And if that's not complicated, there you go, right? All right, as for career medical, the career medical is prioritizing City of Portland residents, as is BankWorks. So I think the next slide is our youth programs. I don't think I have anybody from the youth. Oh, wait a minute. Alyssa Adams is here. Alyssa, if you want to jump in, I didn't have a slide for your program, so I grabbed the one for Fartoon and Eugene. We have 3 different youth programs at Southeast Works. Here's one of them.
Unfortunately, I don't work on a youth program.
Oh, that's right. You're with she's with another program. We have a lot of programs in our building too.
Sorry. We do have Fartoon though. Fartoon's on the call.
Oh, there she is.
Hello, everyone.
There you go, Fartoon. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. My name is Fartoon, and I am one of the youth navigators for one of our youth programs that we have at Southeast Works. I'm currently in the Next Steps 2, doing the Next Steps 2 program. And with my position, I am leaning towards youth that are 18 to 24 who are at risk or just as involved, who have low barrier access to services. And these are just all the support services that we do for our youth that come in and register for our programs. And I've been here for 3 months, so I'm not really, I'm pretty new to everything, but you are more than welcome to reach out to me, my email or the phone number below our referral sheet. And I don't know if I missed anything else. All of our 3 programs, Reconnect, Next Steps, and the Next Steps 2 are very, very similar to my program, which is Next Steps 2. So you can either reach out to Eugene or myself to send any referrals our way that you might have.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Fartun. By the way, Annie, I'm going to put the skills team group email in the chat. If anybody gets overwhelmed, like I can't find the flyer or which person should I reach out to, we have a saying, at least in my office, send it to the skills team and we'll help sort it out.
Perfect.
Although if Sedation Love is on this call, here's her flyer.
Sadesha?
And she might have had to jump off. Some of our folks had 10:30 meetings. You'll probably get to see Sedation on Thursday for anybody who's going to the event. So we will have beautiful, colorful flyers. And usually we try to put her zip codes on the back of the flyers. Sedation works with the Division Midway area and the Jade District. Yes, her email is clove@seworks.org. Like Mulu, who's also on this call, the neighborhood navigators can serve folks who are not documented as long as they live in the service area. Some of our folks have lost their documents or they weren't documented to begin with, but they are still needing help navigating the job search market such as is available to them. And they're not necessarily going to be working with our full workforce development programs. So there's clove@seworks, and Sedation has also been known to meet folks where they're at in the libraries and community centers. There's a copy of our Southeast Works workshops. We do have a regional workshop calendar. I think is attached to one of my it's another slide. But these are the ones that we're doing in-house. So every month we do a scholarship application workshop, a career exploration workshop. We'll be doing job search strategies in a couple of weeks. And we also are a host for Portland Youth Builders for their social media workshop. So feel free to peruse either our in-house workshops, which require WorkSource registration, or this workshop schedule, which has both the WorkSource organizations and the OED workshops in one flyer. There's CareerWorks Medical again, PICP again. I think I've got BankWorks on a different slide. There you go. BankWorks is actually starting on Monday, and we're trying to find out if we still have any openings left. I always tell folks just email us or email Sue Davis, sdavis@seworks, to see if you can still get an application in. BankWorks is 8 weeks. It's free. And again, this training not only teaches folks how things work in the financial service industry, like banking, being a bank teller, but the actual graduation is a job fair, and the employers are the ones that are sponsoring the training. So we're talking about US Bank and KeyBank, Bank of America, who will be there at the graduation, making it a hiring event.
Awesome. I think that, did it feel like I missed any?
If you did, look at my table, look for the Sedation and I and everybody else from our organization that will be sharing that table on Thursday, and we'll have more flyers for people to take home, or we can send them to you electronically.
Awesome. And I can share them afterwards in the email, the follow-up email. And I love how you all do job placement at the very end of your program. So it's not only training and learning new knowledge, but it's also placement opportunities. So love that. Debbie, did you have something to add?
Yeah, real quick, Annie, I think I sent you the flyer for our new job fair for the 2023 that's happening tomorrow.
Yes, it's in the email that went out this morning, the
Okay.
CSN email. Mhm.
Just to let everybody know that there is a job fair tomorrow at Southeast Works. It's our first one that's happening since the whole pandemic. So we're gonna have like 12 tables of different employers. So it's gonna be a hit and miss. It's gonna be everything from construction help to Port Leaf Builders to Bridgetown, Dave Skillebread, and so on. So please spread the word out, and hopefully I get to see some of you guys here tomorrow.
Yeah, right. We've got DPI is actually going to be there, so a different
Yep.
branch of DPI.
Yeah,
DPI.
we're gonna see a lot of each other this week, all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So there's a few questions in the chat. I just want to make sure that they're directed at the appropriate individuals. It looks like Layla said, are there any countries where certificates, degrees are not recognized? I heard that was the case with Iraqi refugees who have degrees.
And again, our difficulty has been getting the degrees and the transcripts from the countries of origin.
Okay, yes, you spoke with that. Sorry. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so it's really about the vehicle to get it here.
That's been a huge barrier for some of the countries.
Okay. And then career medical, do they have it in Washington County?
No, so career medical and BankWorks are hybrid training. So we have some folks who are participating remotely on those days, but they are actually coming to 64th and Foster for the in-person days of training for career medical and BankWorks. We keep thinking about how we're going to expand it, but we haven't quite come to it yet.
Yeah, it's a process.
And the reason why I say that, Diane, because I have somebody at Washington County that's medical assistant, but wants to get registered to get a registration nursing degree.
Well, that CareerWorks Medical would not be the vehicle to do that if they're trying to go. Washington County has its own skills team, Annie, just like ERCO in North Portland, that's that Frederica heads, or my skills team in Southeast Foster. There's a WorkSource office in Gresham and 2 WorkSource offices in Washington County that can serve Washington County residents.
Perfect. Thank you.
You betcha.
All right. Any last questions for Southeast Works? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Diane and Debbie, and to all of our presenters today for sharing such important information and resources and ways to access and educating us. I learned a lot about new resources that are available, or not even new, just new to me. So I appreciate all that you're doing. And I would also like to note that we have had today, the most that we've had on a call to date. So we almost had 70 individuals, which is fantastic. So super exciting to see this community grow and to see all of you here. So thank you so much for that. I would like to open it up to any last minute sharing. And again, I want to be mindful of time. So if you have an event to share or something coming up that you want to share quickly about, the stage is yours. Shay, go for it. If you could just raise your hand or show me some sort of hand signal, that'd be great. Shay, go for it.
Thanks, Annie. So I'm super excited, and I'll make sure to send it to you afterwards. I work for the YWCA in Greater Portland. I specifically manage the social justice program, where we do workshops all day long, pretty much. But this will be the first time that my program has gotten to have a +1. We'll be a party of 2 soon. So that means we are hiring. So if y'all know of anyone that would be interested in focusing on anti-violence and DEI work, anti-racism work, send them my way, and it would be very exciting to have a friend join us on board. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Shay. Anyone else? Any upcoming events, anything to share? As always, feel free to send me any job openings, resources.
I have a job posting to let y'all know about. We are opening up, I'm Olivia, she, her, Planned Parenthood. We're opening up a health center in Ontario, Oregon, which is really exciting. We just got funding for an educator position out there, which is really huge and monumental for us. So I know so many of you are connected to folks in Eastern Oregon, as we've heard with IRCO. So I wanted to pass it along. I'll put it in the chat. We'd love someone from the area so they know, or at least rural Oregon. But you know, we're open for the right candidate.
Awesome. That's exciting. Love it. Anyone else? Okay. Awesome. Well, we hope to see whoever can make it to the Nonprofit Connect on Thursday. And again, check out our fairs coming up and the weekly resource emails. Please feel free to share information and I will add it to those resource emails, not meals. And if you are not on the email list, please let me know and I will make sure you get added. Okay. Thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, everybody. See you
Thanks
Thursday.
again to all of our presenters.